President Uhuru Kenyatta says he is ready and willing to engage all Kenyans and Kenyan leaders, including the opposition, in realizing the country's economic and development agenda. Kenyatta asked Kenyans to remain united and reject the politics of division and confrontation. At the same time, the head of state warned that the government will take stern action against individuals intent in subverting the constitution.
Exactly 2 weeks after he was sworn in for a second and last term, President Uhuru Kenyatta returned to Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani, to lead the nation in marking the 54th Jamhuri Day celebrations. Unlike during the second inauguration, when the stadium was filled to capacity, forcing security officers to disperse and lock out excess crowds, this time round, there was a low turnout with half the terraces empty. The president inspected a military parade conducted by the Air Force Command from Moi Air Base in Isli that also performed the ceremonial trooping of the color. President Kenyatta warned the government will deal with firmness against those found undermining the constitution.
I serve notice to those treating our constitutional order with casual recklessness that the constitution is the general will of all. No one, including myself, is above it. No matter who you are subject to its authority. Anything outside the constitution is a hostile intrusion.
He took a veiled swipe at the opposition over attempts to push for secession.
There will be a 5th, 6th, and even 10th president of Kenya, but there will not be a 2nd, 3rd, or 4th Kenya.
And coming from an election which has divided the country in the middle, the presidency sent out a reconciliatory message.
It is time to reject this false notion of politics for politics' sake. The pursuit of political leadership for economic liberation is our future. As President of Kenya, I am willing and commit to engaging all Kenyans and all Kenyan leaders, including my worthy competitors, irrespective of their religious or ethnic affiliation, in fashioning this new paradigm shift.
The journey ahead, led by our President Uhuru Kenyatta, will now involve all of us. It must involve all leaders, those who won and those who did not.
The president ordered a crackdown on foreign trawlers illegally exploiting Kenya's marine resources and killing the local fishing industry.
I direct the Ministries of Defense and Agriculture to immediately begin intercepting all illegal fishing vessels and to suspend the fishing licenses of all international trawlers operating in Kenya's territorial waters until they comply with our requirement for local input.
The president says his administration will ensure that all hides and skins are fully processed locally to support the leather industry.
Today we direct that all boots, leather products, and textiles for our disciplined forces be procured from local manufacturers with effect from the financial year 2018-19.
He also ordered a crackdown on counterfeits to support local manufacturing.
I have already directed that the Kenya Revenue Authority and the Kenya Anti-Counterfeit Authority to from now destroy on site counterfeits upon seizure. Any public officer found colluding to frustrate this process will be summarily dismissed and immediately prosecuted.
The government plans to introduce major policy and administrative reforms in the medical sector to realize universal health care through strong collaboration between NHIF and private sector insurance providers. Some response to key issues in the president's speech.
We really cannot call ourselves the leaders where they were sold if we still continue seeing our youth unemployed in such large numbers, high percentages. And of course, look at the shanties we have in all our major towns. We must address those issues.
Even as the Jubilee administration gets into its second term, it appears they have now reduced their targets to 4 major areas: food security, universal health care, job creation and affordable housing as key pillars for the administration until 2022. Patrick Amimo, KTN News at the Moi Sports Complex, Kasarani, Nairobi.